Refiner is a special station that will allow you to increase the rarity of your items. To unlock it, you have to visit the top right side of the Sandrock City, where you have to enter inside the research center. Here you will find an NPC called Chi you have to speak to next. Between the social options you will find here, you need to choose the third one called Research. Next, access the second Research tab. Here you will find the refiner you'll be able to research by paying 8 data disk. It will take 3 days to be completed, but you can speed up the process by paying extra data disks. Let's take a moment to speak about how to obtain the data disks. The easier way to obtain them is by going slightly to the bottom right side from your workshop, where you will find the Eufaula salvage shop. By interacting with the cash desk in the right corner, you will be able to buy up to 10 data disks each day for a price of 20 gold each. If you don't want to spend gold, craft a stone pick hammer at your work table. Next, on the right side from Eufaula's salvage shop, enter inside the salvage area. Here you will find some pile of junk you can mine down. Doing so has a random chance to drop several times the data disks. For a more efficient way, you have to progress in the storyline until you will repair the crane leaf that will allow you to access the ancient ruins. Inside this dungeon series, you will be able to mine down the terrain. Doing so has a high chance to drop several data disks. For the passive way, you have to progress in the mine storyline until you will unlock in the bottom left corner of the Sandrock City the Civil Corps. In the left corner of this building you will find a board you can interact with. Next you have to select the hazardous ruins. Next, using the sliders you can decide how many runs they will do and how many days you want to wait for the result. Based on what you choose, the price will change. You can post up to 3 commissions at a time. After the commissions will be completed, you will receive a mail with the rewards forecasted in the board. If you max out all the sliders, you will notice that you will be able to obtain 35 data disks for each commission. This means that you will be able to get up to 105 data disks passively from these 3 commissions. A bonus tip: while progressing in the mine storyline, sometimes you will visit several dungeons. Pay attention at the terrain in this dungeon, because sometimes you will be able to mine it down, the same way you do in the ancient ruins. The cool part about these dungeons is that the stamina won't be depleted while mining. Plus the day-night cycle will be paused until you will finish them, so you can take your time to mine all them down. If you do from some of these dungeons, you will literally obtain for free over 200 data disks. Anyway, once the research will be done, you will receive a mail from the research center. Acquiring the item attached to it, you will learn the refiner diagram. To build it now, you have to interact with an assembly station. On the first page, you will find its recipe, and it will require 1 bronze blade, 12 copper screw, 2 marble slab, 3 rubber shell, and 2 hardwood sticks. Let's speak about the bronze blade that is the first ingredient of this recipe. Before you will be able to craft it, you have to go to the bottom right side of the Sandrock City. To be precise, you need to enter inside the Commerce Guild. Immediately after, turn to the right and interact with the cash desk, from where you will be able to buy the bronze blade recipe that will cost 290 gold. Now that you have it, go back to your workshop and interact with the work table. This will allow you to access its recipe that will require 4 bronze bars and 2 copper gear in order to craft 1 bronze blade. Speaking about the bronze bars you need for this recipe, before you will be able to obtain it, you have to progress in the mine storyline until you will build a crane lift that will allow you to access the abandoned ruins. Immediately after, you can go above your workshop, where you will find a hammer time shop, from where you will be able to buy up to 20 bronze bars each day for a price of 47 gold each. In case you don't want to buy them, go back to your workshop and interact with the furnace, where you will find a recipe that will allow you to convert 3 copper ore and 2 tin ore into 1 bronze bar. To obtain the copper ore you need for this recipe, reach the abandoned ruins. In this dungeon you will find several copper nodes you will be able to mine in order to obtain the copper ore. Occasionally you will get it also by mining the terrain. In alternative, if you want to save your stamina, you can reach the Eufaula salvage shop to the bottom right side from your workshop. Here you will be able to buy up to 50 copper ore each day for a price of 4 gold each. Speaking about the tin ore, you need to visit again the abandoned ruins. Inside these dungeons you have to proceed further until reaching the 3rd level. In fact, only from this level you will find some tin ore nodes. Mining them will give you the tin ore you need. Occasionally from the 3rd level you also will find the tin ore by mining the terrain as well. In case you want to obtain the tin ore and also save your stamina, you can do so by visiting the Eufaula salvage shop. In the right corner of this building you will find a cash desk you have to interact with. This will allow you to buy up to 30 tin ore each day for a price of 8 gold. Another way to obtain the bronze bars can be achieved after you will complete the quest that will require you to repair the hydrogel. The next day, go to the bottom right side from your workshop and visit the Eufaula salvage junkyard, where you will find a new type of junk called ruined bus frame. Mining it down, beside receiving other ingredients, you will also obtain some bronze bars. Time to speak about the copper gear that is the second ingredient of the bronze blade recipe. If you want to farm it directly, access the Eufaula salvage junkyard, where occasionally you will find a mechanical junk pile. Mining it down has a good chance to give you some copper gears. A little tip: during the exploration of dungeon and secret caves, don't forget to loot all the junk piles. Some of them will reward you with the copper gear. Anyway, if you want to obtain the copper gear earlier, you have to visit the Commerce Guild building. Then, immediately on the right, you have to interact with the cash desk. This will allow you to buy the copper gear recipe for 62 gold. Now that you have it, go back to your workshop and interact with the grinder, where now you will be able to use a recipe that will allow you to convert 2 copper bars into 1 copper gear. Speaking about the copper bars you need for this recipe, the easier way to obtain it is by going to a shop called Hammer Time. From here you will be able to buy up to 20 copper bars each day for a price of 26 gold each. In case you don't want to buy it, go to the Eufaula salvage junkyard. Initially here you will find some mixed junk piles. Mining those will reward you with some copper scraps. That next, by placing them inside the recycler, you have a high chance to find some copper bars. Progressing in the storyline, inside the junkyard will appear also some metal junk piles, that besides some copper scraps will also drop directly the copper bars as well. Near the junkyard you also will find the Eufaula salvage shop, from where you will be able to buy 10 copper scraps each day for a price of 25 gold each. While to obtain the copper scraps passively, you have to progress in the storyline until you will unlock a mine quest called Keep on Rockin'. After you will be able to complete this quest, in the central part of the Eufaula salvage shop you will be able to interact with the desk. This will allow you to access the supply delivery. This will allow you to buy and upgrade the contract, that every day will deliver in the box that will appear near your mailbox some copper scraps with other materials. There is also another important method in order to obtain the copper bars. To do so, you have to interact with a furnace that will allow you to convert 3 copper ore into 1 copper bar. For the copper ore itself, it was already explained in this video, so if you skipped it, use the timestamp you see right now. Speaking about the copper screw, that is the second ingredient, the easier way to obtain it is by going to the Hammer Time building. Interacting with the cash desk you will find here, you will be able to buy up to 5 copper screws each day for a price of 19 gold each. In case you want to avoid spending your gold, interact with the grinder in your workshop, where you will find a recipe that will allow you to convert 1 copper bar into 2 copper screws. To farm the copper bars you need for this recipe, it was already explained in this video, so use the timestamp if you missed it. Speaking about the marble slab, that is the third ingredient, Before you will be able to obtain it, visit the Commerce Guild building. Immediately on the right you will find a cash desk you have to interact with, from where you will need to buy the marble slab recipe that will cost around 150 gold. Now that you have it, you will be able to use the processor in order to convert 2 marble bricks into 1 marble slab. For the marble brick, you also will need the recipe from the Commerce Guild that this time will cost somewhere around 70 gold. Now that you have it, interact with the furnace in order to be able to produce it using 4 marble. For the marble, before you will be able to farm it, you first need to obtain a bronze pick hammer. Thanks to it, you will be able to mine down the monuments and the hard rocks you will find around your workshop. Hard rocks will give you a lower amount of marble compared to monuments. After you will obtain your first weapon, you also will be able to obtain some marble by defeating some moving cactuses called the Thorny Jumper. If you don't want to use your stamina and obtain some marble easy, you have to reach the construction junction located in the central part of the city. Close to the entrance you will find a cash desk you have to interact with, where you will be able to buy up to 25 marble for a price of 12 gold each. At the margins of the area around the city, you will find also some level 28 enemies called Rock and Roll. Defeating them always will reward you with some marble as well. Once you will unlock the desert located to the left from the city, you will be able to find some raw materials nodes. Mining them down will allow you to find the marble and other materials you will need later on. In the same desert you will find also another enemy called the Pensky that will reward you with some marble if you will defeat them. Time to discuss the rubber shell that is the fourth ingredient. In order to be able to obtain it, you have to interact with a processor where you will find its recipe that will require 4 rubber. For the rubber itself, go to the Fala salvage. Here you will find some mixed junk piles you have to mine using the pickaxe. By doing so, sometimes you will receive some rubber scraps. Once you have it, interact with the recycler and place it inside. By doing so, for sure, you will receive at least 1 rubber. You also have a high chance to find the rubber shell directly this way. The next way is to craft a bronze pick hammer. This will allow you to mine down the rubber scraps that you can find around your workshop and inside the Euphala salvage as well. Those will give you a good amount of rubber scraps you can now place again in the recycler. There is also a small chance that by mining the rubber scraps you will obtain the rubber directly. After repairing the hydrogel for the mine quest, go back to the Euphala salvage and start mining the ruined bus frame. By mining it, you will convert the seeds inside into a good amount of rubber scraps. That next, again by placing them inside the recycler, you will obtain the rubber. A more efficient way will appear after you will repair the bridge and reach the new desert biome. Here you will be able to defeat several boxing jacks. They always drop a good amount of rubber. A bonus tip: while you're exploring the quest dungeons, be sure to collect all the junk piles. In fact, some of them will reward you with the rubber as well. Inside the quest dungeons, if you will defeat the gigglers here, you also will find a lot of rubber. Using the feather duster to clean your machines also have a chance to reward you with some rubber. Finally, it's time to speak about the hardwood stick that is the last ingredient of this recipe. The main way to obtain it is by interacting with a processor that will allow you to craft it by using 4 hardwood. For the hardwood itself, before you'll be able to start farming it, you have to craft the bronze axe. Thanks to it, you'll be able to chop down the dead wood that drops the hardwood. Thanks to the bronze axe, you also will be able to collect the quality wood scraps. Doing so generally will allow you to collect some fine wood scraps. That next you need to place inside your recycler in order to have a high chance to find some hardwood. There is even a chance to obtain this way the hardwood stick directly. After repairing the hydrogel for the mine quest, reach again the Euphala salvage junkyard. After completing the quest mentioned previously, in the junk area will appear sometimes the wooden junk pile. Dismantling it using your axe will allow you to collect a good amount of hardwood. Another way to obtain it is by chopping down the cactus flower trees. The only problem is that the first time you will do so, Burgess will tell you that you cannot chop down trees. If you won't listen to his advice and continue chopping down this type of cactuses and other people will notice you doing so, will result in losing some reputation with these NPCs, plus sometimes you will even lose some gold. If you don't mind to go against the rules, craft the iron axe. This will allow you to chop down several dry box trees around your workshop. They will reward you with a huge amount of hardwood, but they will take up to 5 days to respawn.